everyone, Auntie Tambarambaa, also known as Tammy Porter, here with you again today. And today I'm creating this gorgeously watercolour-y, backgroundy, galaxy kind of inspired art journal page using lots of art by Marlene. So I'll take you through what I've used. I've used the large white creative journal, which I'm really loving playing in at the moment. I've also used a few bits and bobs from the golden oldie. Mine's falling to bits, and then you need a few stencils. Now, I've used the geometric Deco screen one, and I've also used a bit of an older one with a floral shape. And then that's from day 14 of the Advent calendar, a little circular one. Then I've also used the alphabet foam stamps from a while ago. Then some of the basics like your glue, a black and white marker, some watercolour brush, a sponge, and the white craft tape. And then loads of paints as per usual. So Ballet, what else have I used in there? Funky, which is neon pink. I've used Punk, which is neon purple. Azure, which is teal. Smurf, which is blue. A Royal, which is deep purple. And Cheesy, which is a yellow. Basically my go-to colour. And what I have been doing is I used a bit of the white craft tape just to tape a border around the edge. But just keep in mind, you can use washi tape for this, but do remember that the white that I use gives that same look once you lift it of the white, whereas washi tape can throw the whole thing. That can make you feel like you're using the wrong colours and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I really like the white craft tape of Marlene's. It's more accurate to what the project's actually going to end up like, and it helps me when selecting colours. Okay, so what I decided to do today was use stencils to create a background. And I haven't put gesso down, I've gone straight into the creative journal. And I'm using the stencils like a stamp. So I've come in, I started with the Cheesy, which is your yellow, and I actually watered the Cheesy down quite a bit with some water, and then I brushed it onto my stencil and then turned the stencil over and used it like a stamp. Now you do need quite a bit of water. I did find by adding water each time as I went, I got a better result. But what you can see at the top there, so I intended to just do that for the whole background. But when I put the yellow down, I did a big blob. I obviously had some on the back of something, and it ended up completely taking over. So what I've had to do is I've added each colour by using the stencil as a stamp, and then I've brushed a bit of that watered colour on, and then removed some with a baby wipe through it as well. So you're sort of giving two different ways to apply your stencil. But because you're using acrylic paint that's watered down, you end up with a gorgeous, really watercolour-y, soft background with hints of bits of stencil. And then you also get the colours blending together really nicely. So it's a lot of fun, this kind of background. So I began with the yellow Cheesy, then I came in with the floral stencil with Ballet, and then I mixed Azure and Smurf for a gorgeous deep turquoise and used that stencil from the Advent calendar. And then I just came in with a little bit of Punk, and actually just with the leftover paint that was on my palette, so it had water already on it, I just plotted some down with my fingers into the background, and I really loved that look. It helped my colours all blend together, and you start getting those magical pops of colour that happen. So I did that with all of the colours in the end. Whatever I had left on my palette, I just dipped my fingers in and popped a bit around. And then I decided to come in with the Funky, which is your neon pink, and that's where you get those vibrant little pops. And I just did a little bit of mark making with those. And now what I decided to do was create a little bit of a border. So I've mixed some of the Smurf and the Royal, or was it Azure and Royal? But I mixed them and watered it down, so I got a sort of a nighty, a deeper colour, and I want this to be a shadow. So I've just gone around the edge, still very watered down. all the way around where that tape is, and then just pulled it off using that floral stencil. And I'm hoping when I pull up my tape, I have a little bit of a sort of a shadow, and I'm leaving that white space in the center. So then I came in and added some more mark making with a bit more punk, just to, because those translucents, those neons really pop it. So I couldn't help myself. I had to come in with more punk, and here I'm coming in with a bit more funky. And I added a few splats as well with my leftover watered down paint. I just splattered that around. So at that point, I decided, I didn't know where I was going with this page, but I did decide right then that it looked a bit like a galaxy. You know, those gorgeous colours you see in galaxy and solar systems. And so I dug out that moon and a few stars from the Golden Oldies pack. That's the pack that just keeps on giving. And what I've done is I've also dug out these old gorgeous foam alpha stamps. And I decided to go with the title, Keep Looking Up. That's just something important to me, and it's something I remind myself of often. I've always been a bit of a dreamer and a person that goes out and lays down on the grass or the driveway and looks at the stars. And I just, you know, at times when I feel a little bit out of sorts, that's just something that really helps me. So this is just a reminder to myself. So I stamped just using black ink, and I didn't do the most awesome job of the stamping, but that's okay because I come in and fix that soon with using the black markers. Now I'm sticking all the bits down, and I decided to add a little bit of journaling just to make it personal. So I've written, keep looking up. Since I was 8 years old, I've talked to the night sky. It's somewhere I've turned for peace and comfort when I'm lost and alone. And I'm sure the night sky means something to you too, but it's something about not feeling so alone and sort of making sense of some of your problems when you look up at that vast sky. So my dad passed away when I was 8, and I've talked to him in the sky ever since. So that is where this page was born from. So then I just, after I journaled, I added a few little hand-drawn stars around the place, and then I pulled up the craft tape, and I did actually tear a little bit, but the trick to pulling that up is to heat it with your heat gun as you pull it up, and it will just glide. I was a bit impatient to start with, so you can learn from my mistakes. So then I used that marker just to fill in the title, and I couldn't help myself. Always have to come back and add a little bit of mark making, but doesn't it look beautiful? I had trouble photographing this page. It wasn't showing itself as gorgeous as it is. I think it's quite vivid in real life, and you get those magic pops and those little hints of stencils, and it's just quite magical. So the only other thing I did there was just grab my black pen and do a couple of scribbles around the border, and that just finished it off. I'll leave you with close-ups so you can see those little magical moments that have occurred. They are just gorgeous. So this is a really fun page to do. It's always going to come out a little bit different, but it's a really simple and fun technique using stencils. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so enjoy the magic, and guys, keep looking up. And I would love it if you would leave me a comment. Thanks so much. Bye.